or their country of national origin. And the ACLU is going to do whatever it can to do with President Trump exactly what we have done in the nearly 100 years of our history. We are going to see him in court. The ACLU and many of our allies and many private attorneys around the country went to court within hours of the executive orders being issued. We will continue to assert the legal rights of all of us. Our Constitution protects freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of press, and freedom against discrimination. And we intend to continue to press those points regardless of the Trump administration's attempt to hide behind the false curtain of national security. It is a powerful curtain. I do not dispute that. But we have all got to stand united in assuring our country and everyone in it that Muslims are not a threat to our national security. And that it is unconstitutional and un-American to suggest otherwise. So let me tell you what else we need to do. We do need to tell our members of Congress in the Democratic Party, which is leading the opposition, that it has to be strong and it has to oppose these measures. But we can't stop there. We cannot give the Republican members of Congress a pass. Kennedy Wolfson, Adam Kinzinger, Peter Roskam, Rodney Daniels from down in Champaign.
Where are they?
John Shimkus. Where are they? They need to hear from us. They need to hear from constituents in their districts that the Republican Party, which obviously controls both houses of Congress, also takes an oath to the Constitution, and we, the people, expect them to live up to it. And we need to make sure that they get that message every day, day in and day out. And the other thing we need to support each other, and we need to support the advocacy organizations like CARE, like the ACLU, like the council that make these arguments and do this work. And so at that point, I'm getting the 1 minute mark, which expired probably a long time ago. So thank you for being here. And I have one final remark and one caveat. Do not be afraid, and do not be afraid to reach out to us at the ACLU.
ACLU has done such a phenomenal job. We have to recognize more than we have. So I'm going to say ACLU, and you will say, we all love you. Is that ACLU? We all love you. ACLU? We all love you. ACLU? We all love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Before our next speaker, I just wanted to remind everyone, if you are live tweeting the event, use the hashtags #NoBan_NoWall and Justice for All. Make sure you use those. We want to make people know that we had a big turnout here. So don't forget to do that. Next, we will have a rep from the Muslim Bar Association, Sister Amina Saeed.
Assalamu alaikum. And good afternoon, everybody.
Closer to the microphone.
Yes.
E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. This is the motto of our beautiful nation. The mission statement, if you will. It is carried by the bald eagle in its beak on the great seal of our nation. And we are reminded of it daily when we hold in our hands the currency that we use, because it is imprinted on our currency. E pluribus unum, words to live by for every American. Yet our nation's 45th president, one Donald J. Trump, has made it abundantly clear that he has absolutely no interest in upholding this bedrock principle of our democracy. He ran a campaign based on divisiveness and has spent the first 2 weeks carrying out his promises. The Affordable Care Act, the wall, rights of many minority communities have all been affected. And we saw the outcome of his hate speech close to us yesterday with the attack on our brothers and sisters at the Loop Synagogue. We, the people, and specifically the Muslim community, stand with them. E pluribus unum. On January 27th, President Donald Trump recklessly signed the executive order banning people from the United States based solely on their faith and national origin. He did this to fulfill his campaign promise to institute, quote, a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what is going on, unquote. December 2015. This isn't, though, the first time that E pluribus unum has been violated by executive order in our country. Perhaps the first time was when 1851, Indian reservations were established to push Native Americans further west into unwanted lands. That order was signed by President Grant. And of course, as you all know, has been on the minds of many Muslims, practically all Muslims, since the November election results, comes executive order signed in 1942 by President Roosevelt, enacting internment camps for Japanese Americans. That was, yes, by executive order as well. But I want to remind you that executive orders can also carry good. For example, the Emancipation Proclamation was an executive order. Many civil rights era acts, like affirmative action, and equal employment opportunity laws were enacted by executive order. So there can be good. But in this case, Congress wasn't given the opportunity to review the order, and neither were any of the departments that were impacted by the order. What has happened has been chaos, confusion. Lawyers, unfortunately, have had to work pretty much sleeplessly for the last week and a half to deal with this mass problem. Practically every immigration attorney I know has been on the forefront, has been at O'Hare, has been in their offices advocating on the phone, constantly dealing with this, trying to help as many people as we can. And we're not going to stop. I'm going to take just one more minute, if I may. Let's see. Let's be real. Where this is going to come out and play is the Supreme Court. That's where this is headed. And that's why it's really important that we follow what is happening in the Supreme Court. The Muslim community, the Muslim lawyers community is doing all we can to make sure that we stand up and show the Supreme Court the right side that they should, the right side of history that they need to stand on. Very quick, I just want to tell you the number of pro bono hours that have been given by Muslim lawyers as well as lawyers all over the country in the last few days have amounted to thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars of legal fees, all pro bono. There have been laws. For example, working at O'Hare, a law firm donated printers, they donated a Wi-Fi network, and then they sent their IT guy to O'Hare to set up the Wi-Fi network, just for the lawyers to use. That's pretty impressive. So, know that we are not alone. The Muslim Bar Association is a small organization. Our numbers are few compared to the legal community at large, but we are not alone. We have the support of the entire legal community. Many people have expressed support. Tomorrow we are standing with the Illinois State Bar Association, the Chicago Bar Association, and many other bar associations downtown for a press conference about the order, and our president, Azam Nizamuddin, will be speaking. Please remember, we are ready, and we are in it for the long haul. The Muslim legal community will be standing with you, and we will be standing together to make sure that we do not allow the alt-right clash of civilization ideology to take over America. Equal